Hello, and welcome to the virtual public meeting for Mobility 2045, the impending Metropolitan Transportation Plan for the Mesilla Valley MPO. This is a critical process for the future of Central Doña Ana County, and we thank you for your participation. This presentation will be available on the City of Las Cruces website and linked on the Mesilla Valley MPO website and the Doña Ana County website. Contact information will be available at the end of the presentation for questions, comments, and suggestions. The Mesilla Valley Metropolitan Planning Organization, or MPO, is a federally required organization that exists to maintain eligibility for federal transportation funds and federal transit funds. The MPO also serves as a forum for regional transportation planning. The Metropolitan Transportation Plan, or MTP, is a federally required document that must be updated every 5 years. It creates and guides the long-range vision for the Mesilla Valley MPO. Mobility 2045 has a 25-year planning horizon. In addition to the remaining MPO committee meetings before the adoption of the MTP, this online presentation will serve as the final public comment period for Mobility 2045. During this phase, the final draft of Mobility 2045 is available for review on the MPO website. During this final phase, we ask the public to review and provide comments on this final draft. Written comments received during this final phase and staff responses to comments will be included in Appendix B in the final document. Transport 2040, which is the current MTP, has many accomplishments. To highlight 4 of them, the Valley Drive project was planned and built during the Transport 2040 and will be completed soon. West University Avenue Corridor Study Project, which is a project we will discuss in more detail later. We also have the ongoing University Interchange Project, which was planned during Transport 2040 and is now currently in construction. Finally, we have the La Llorona Trail Extension, which is the first project towards completing the southern leg of the multi-use loop trail. The core vision of Mobility 2045 is to serve all transportation users by planning, implementing, and maintaining a transportation system that coordinates land use and transportation planning. Highlighted here are the goals for Mobility 2045. The ability for all users to travel safely by all modes is one of the primary goals of the Mesilla Valley MPO. It is essential to preserve the existing transportation system as the most cost-effective means of serving mobility needs of the residents of the MPO area. Providing equitable transportation choices for all users is important for those who have limited use of motorized vehicles. A well-connected transportation network reduces the distance traveled to reach destinations and can facilitate pedestrian and bicycle networks. Transportation efficiency reduces congestion on roads, increasing individuals' quality of life. Having an effective multimodal transportation system is critical for the economic well-being of a community. At the forefront of the potential technological changes is the potential development of automated passenger and freight vehicles. To have a sustainable future, all communities must develop appropriate plans to reduce the use of non-renewable resources. Vehicle crashes are a significant contributor to medical issues. The unique culture of a region can be a valuable asset in terms of economic development and quality of life. One of the most important concerns brought forward in the MTP process is safety conditions. Highlighted here, we have intersections with the highest vehicle crash rates, which at this time are Camino del Rex and North Main, Baton Memorial and Rinconada, and Telshore and Lowman. Secondly, we have corridors with the highest non-motorized crash rates, which include El Paseo, Wyatt to Missouri, North Solano, North Main to Spruce, and Walnut, Idaho, Lowman to Solano. Also, here we have the tools for safety improvements. Study would have to be done for effective safety improvements at each location. The following slides have maps that highlight various areas of safety concern in the urban core. This map shows the 2017 pedestrian crashes. This is the most current crash data that we have. The state has a 2-year process that it goes through to compile crash data. So the 2018 crash data will be available soon. If you're looking at this map, crosses represent fatal crashes, triangles represent injury crashes, and circles represent property damage only crashes. Please pause the presentation at this time if you would like to take a closer look at the map. This map shows the serious injury crashes for 2017. Everywhere that you see a blue dot, there was a serious injury crash. This is the most current serious injury crash data for the urban core. Please pause the presentation at this time if you would like to take a closer look at the map. This map shows the bicycle crashes for 2017. The red squares represent injury crashes. The black circles indicate property damage only crashes. This is the most current bicycle crash data for the urban core. Please pause the presentation at this time if you would like to take a closer look at the map. Currently, these are all the projects slated for the next 5 years. One project of interest is the University Avenue Multimodal Project, is the culmination of the West University Multimodal Study from the current MTP. Another project of interest is the Roadrunner Transit Maintenance and Operations Center. This is a significant achievement for the city of Las Cruces to acquire this grant, as Roadrunner Transit has the need to upgrade their maintenance and operations center. You will note the performance of maintenance projects within the 2020 to 2025 list highlights the importance of maintenance in plan, implementation, and operations. This is the second list for projects for Mobility 2045. These projects are scheduled for the next 5 to 15 years. New Mexico State University is proposing an interchange at the junction of Arrowhead Drive and Interstate 10. This is the third list for Mobility 2045 projects. These projects are scheduled for the next 15 to 25 years. By 2040, Interstate 10 will be in need of maintenance and rehabilitation. This map is the MTP project map. This map shows where most of the projects within the next 5 years will be located, with 2 exceptions. We also have the Arrowhead interchange listed on here and the I-10 project, which are both further out. Please pause the presentation at this time if you would like to take a closer look at the map. There is significant potential for future development at the City of Las Cruces West Mesa Industrial Park to take advantage of the economic activities ongoing along the U.S.-Mexican border. This potential is dependent upon the further improvement of freight connections between Santa Teresa and the central Doñana County. This would include the High Mesa Road, which would be a connection between Las Cruces International Airport, West Mesa Industrial Park, Union Pacific Intermodal Terminal, Doñana County International Jetport, and the Santa Teresa Port of Entry. The industrial park offers access to Interstate 10, which is a year-round all-weather east-west freight corridor, and Interstate 25, which is the north-south travel spine east of the Rocky Mountains. MPO staff supports the creation of a rail connection to the West Mesa Industrial Park, or the creation of an industrial zone near the existing railroad to take advantage of the regional economic activities and secure this area's future economic security. The Las Cruces International Airport has opportunities for development. Arrowhead Park on the New Mexico State University campus is a developing project. Burrell College of Osteopathic Medicine is the first significant development in the park. NMSU is investing in opportunities in the park in areas of science and technology. The functional classification map represents facilities that are eligible for federal funding. The types of roads that are eligible for federal funding in the area are interstates, principal arterials, minor arterials, major collectors, and minor collectors. Interstates are the highest classification of arterials and were designed and constructed with mobility, limited access, and long-distance travel in mind. Principal arterials are roadways that serve major centers of metropolitan areas, provide a high degree of mobility. They can directly serve abutting land uses and can also provide mobility through rural areas. Minor arterials provide service for trips of moderate length, serve geographic areas that are smaller than their higher arterial counterparts, and offer connectivity to the higher arterial system. Major collectors serve a role in the roadway network by gathering traffic from local roads and funneling them to the arterial network. Major collectors are longer in route length, have lower connecting driveway densities, have higher speed limits, and are spaced at greater intervals and have more travel lanes. Minor collectors serve the role of gathering traffic from local roads and funneling it to major collectors and arterials. Minor collectors tend to have less lanes, slower speeds, and run shorter distances. As part of the MTP process, MPO staff proposes removing some functionally classified roads that did not meet the activity threshold for classification or were not part of the integrated network. These are represented in red. During the MTP process, a list of roads was gathered to study for possible future classification. Please pause the presentation at this time if you would like to take a closer look at the map. The Future Thoroughfare Plan has both current facilities and proposed future functionally classified facilities. As mentioned on the previous slide, MPO staff proposes removing some of the previously designated corridors to better integrate the existing network with other regional plans. As part of this MTP process, MPO staff is proposing potential future classification of key roadways. These roadways include Baylor Canyon, Red Hawk Golf Course Road, Delray Boulevard north of Doña Ana Interchange on Interstate 25. Additionally, the creation of the Organ Mountains Desert Peaks National Monument has changed the plans for the transportation network on the West Mesa. The potential future alignments of Engler Road and Arroyo Road were the most significant facilities impacted. Subsequent to the adoption of Mobility 2045, the MPO will engage in a public stakeholder process to determine the alignments of Engler and Arroyo. A potential significant economic asset for the region is connection of the High Mesa Road from the southern end of the West Mesa Industrial Park to the Santa Teresa Industrial Park. Mobility 2045 has the High Mesa Road included as a potential corridor. Further study will be required to bring this to fruition. Please pause the presentation at this time if you would like to take a closer look at the plan. The active mobility plan is the combination of three previous MPO maps. Those three maps were the pedestrian priorities map, bicycle priorities map, and the trail priorities map. This was done to both more closely align with the active transportation plan of the City of Las Cruces and consolidate related data into one point of reference. Recently, the Valley Drive project along Valley Drive and Avenida de Mesilla brought sidewalks and bike facility improvements. In the county, improvements have been made along Soledad Canyon Road by adding in a separated multi-use path. This has led to the county planning a similar project along Dripping Springs Road. A major development of Transport 2040 is accelerating progress on the construction of the multi-use loop trail. The town of Mesilla has made substantial progress in the past few years with the La Llorona extension and the Calle del Norte Phase 2 project. A significant item of Mobility 2045 is to establish consensus for the completion of the southern leg of the multi-use loop trail. What is currently displayed on the plan is the alignment going down the Mesilla lateral to Calle del Sur, then down Calle del Sur to the Laguna lateral, down the Laguna lateral to the Union multi-use trail. Please pause the presentation at this time if you would like to take a closer look at the plan. The MPO is involved in two major regional forums. The first is transportation planning. The second is regional transit planning. This is the Transit System Priorities Plan. There are currently two major transit initiatives going on. Currently, Roadrunner Transit and South Central Regional Transit District are working on their short-range transit plans. This plan may need to be updated at the end of their planning process. Please pause the presentation at this time if you would like to take a closer look at the plan. The truck route map has the preferred freight corridors of the MPO member jurisdictions. This map represents how freight should flow through the MPO area. Please pause the presentation at this time if you would like to take a closer look at the map. The ultimate goal of Mobility 2045 is to develop an integrated and well-functioning transportation network that effectively serves the needs of the residents of the Mesilla Valley. The MPO must adopt Mobility 2045 by the end of July 2020. All maps, plans, and documents can be found on the Mesilla Valley MPO website. Also included is a draft version of Mobility 2045. This is the contact information for MPO staff. MPO staff's preferred means of communication is email. Please feel free to email any one of us and we will respond within a few days. If you leave a comment in the comment section, we will review and respond every few days until June 19th, at which point the public comment period will be closed. All comments will be included in the appendix of Mobility 2045. Thank you for your participation in the process.